Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Happy Productive Podcast. I'm Jennifer Dawn, and this is the place for simple, straightforward solutions for business owners who want to reach their full potential. Today, guys, I'm super excited. We're going to be talking with Dr. Marissa, aka Asian Oprah. She's a media personality, an award-winning CNBC syndicated talk show host and producer, #1 best-selling author, inspirational speaker, organizational psychologist, filmmaker, broadcast journalist, life balance coach, retired professor and lounge lizard. That's probably one of my favorites. Tai Chi instructor, and most importantly, a mom. Dr. Marissa, I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome to Happy Productive.
Thank you, Jennifer. Happy to be here, literally.
Yes, that's so awesome. Well, look, I was, of course, cyber stalking your website, checking out all the amazing things that you do. And the very first thing that caught my attention was really the headline on your website, "We were born to be happy." I believe this with my entire heart, but I would just love for you to speak to this. Like, why is that the headline on your website?
Because most people have forgotten that. And when you're kids, you know that. You're here to play. You're here to enjoy your life. You're here to have great relationships. You're here to do things that you love to do most of the time. And that is, every child without adult intervention is on that path. And then somewhere around the age of 10, no matter what kind of childhood you have, that voice in your head begins to tell you things like, you're not as good looking as, you're not as cute as, you're not as pretty as, you're not as smart as, you're not as good as. And then 7 out of 10 of us have people who take that message or begin that message to the nth degree. 7 out of 10 of us, my honorable moniker, Asia, and the reason why I'm called Asian Oprah is I was introduced to Oprah, by the way, as the Asian Oprah by Michael Bernard Beckwith. So that was an interesting time. She looked at me, looked down, looked back up at me, smiled and said, "Nice pants."
Oh, nice.
And it took everything for me not to say, "Do you want them?" But anyways, so she says it's as high as 8 out of 10. Psychologists now are saying it's high as 94%. So childhood trauma is a reality for the majority of us. So when you have childhood trauma, someone tells you or acts to you in a way that says, you're not good enough. You're not beautiful. You're not smart. You're not worthy. You're not special. And I was one of those. I was told I was fat, ugly, and clumsy. And so I took those words and then made it even worse by collecting all the insults and criticisms that I had after that. So I'm not alone. 7 out of 10 of us, if we take the low number, the majority of us walking around the planet have that message that keeps us from being happy. Because you cannot be happy and worried, and cannot be happy and hate yourself. You cannot be happy and loathe yourself. You cannot be happy and have low self-esteem at the same time. Impossible. It's one or the other. So many of us, just from that upbringing, are in that I'm not happy. Now, then you have the other, even if you have had a healthy past or no trauma in your childhood, and you've bought into the American dream or the Cinderella story or Jerry Maguire, you begin to think that happiness depends on finding the other one to complete you, or finding someone who's going to ride off with you into the sunset, or that you're going to get the happiness from going to a good school, getting a good job, getting a good career and promotion, having a great partner, and having 2.2 kids, and having a nice house, and having a nice car, and having enough toys to that your relatives will squabble over when you die, or and go on vacation 6 weeks a year. That is supposed to be happiness making. And really sadly, Kate Spade and Anthony Bourdain prove that that is not the case. You can have all of those things and still be tremendously unhappy. Right. On top of that, if you are a high achiever, which you all are that are listening, because nobody pointed a gun to your head to listen to this. So you're trying to improve by listening to this podcast. So I busted you. If you're an overachiever, if you are a perfectionist, if you are, and what, 98% of entrepreneurs are perfectionists. Okay. Mm-hmm. We all have that internal critic that tells us you shouldn't have said that, you shouldn't have done that. So if you're one of those, that will guarantee you unhappiness, because perfectionism is a dis-ease with life. And when you are dis-eased with life, you are not happy. Mm-hmm. So I just gave you now pretty much most of the population. This was hashtag BC19, mm-hmm. the time before COVID.
Yeah.
So hello.
Yeah.
Now that we've had COVID, we have even less happy people.
Yeah.
So all of this said proves that most of us have forgotten that we have a birthright to happiness, that it is our lot in life to live as if it's heaven on earth. Now, religion has also done a number. Well, it doesn't matter how happy you are here. You're not supposed to be happy here. Your eternal life is where your happiness is. And so you just suffer through life, which is another BS belief system.
Total BS.
That keeps us unhappy. So now that I have depressed every single person listening, there is good news. There is good news. We have the most powerful tool called ch, not a C word. It's a ch word. Mm-hmm. It's called choice. Mm-hmm. And as simple as that sounds, it is simple. It's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy,
simple.
But it is simple. You have to plug your phone in another room, so that you're not tempted to pick it up in the morning, first thing when you wake up, and begin that little motion that we never had before this generation.
Right.
Never had scrolling. We never had strong thumbs. I call this the strong thumb generation, or the punctuation generation. Never so many hashtags and @ signs. So the choice to take responsibility for your own happiness is the key to claiming your birthright. Mm-hmm. And no one else can do that for you but you, boo.
That's right. I agree completely. And it's so true that nobody else can do this, and nothing external is going to do this. You might have momentary or temporary happiness when you get that house, that car, that job, that person. But anybody who's been in a long-term relationship knows to make it work, it's always going to be work. You know, the new house, the new car, they wear off, they get old, and all those external things are not really what brings us true happiness. And it is a choice. I've had people throughout my life say, Jennifer, why are you so happy? Because I choose to be. It's not that I've had a perfect life, far from it. I came from very severe childhood abuse, sexual abuse, trauma, all of that. But you overcome because you make the choice that you're going to overcome. You make the choice that you're going to learn from it. You make the choice that you're going to use what happened to you to help others. It is always a choice. And I truly believe this in my heart, that if you're not happy, it's because you've made a choice not to be happy.
Correct.
And if you flip that and start to make the choice, things will change for you. You will be able to experience more happiness.
Yeah. But that, that is it's a blisscipline.
Yes.
You cannot, and I stole that. I have to give credit to my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith. I stole that from him. But you have to stop blaming other people for your unhappiness.
Right.
And that is easier said than done, because it's a habit that's why I wrote the book. I didn't write the book as a psychologist telling you how to be happy. I wrote the book as one of the 7 out of 10 of us who are convinced that no matter how much we achieve, no matter how much we do, we're never going to be good enough, because we carry around that past pain like a badge, and the emotional baggage is oversized, and it's time to let that go. Now, it's also true that you cannot just let it go. You really do have to process through so that it's not what happened to you. It's what happened for you. And when you make that decision to begin really researching and understanding how that past pain chiseled you into the glorious, magnificent, one-of-a-kind, wonderful person that you are now, that you have unique gifts, talents, and abilities because of what happened to you, then you will always stay in the shame and the blame and the pain. Ooh, I don't think I've said that before. I gotta write that down. The shame and the blame and the pain. That song, that's the unhappy song. Ooh, write that down. The unhappy song is shame, blame, and pain.
Absolutely. I love that so much. And the book that Marissa is speaking of is 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. And I love this so much because I've often had, there we go.
I'm blurred. I'm blurred. Go ahead. Say what you were going to say.
I often had people say to me, oh, there it is. Beautiful. 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. And I've had people say, oh, well, Jennifer, you're just wired for happiness. It's just the way that you are. I'm not wired that way. And so when people say this, like, I'm just not wired for happiness, what do you have to say to that?
I would say you are wired for happiness. You just forgot how to access your buttons. You're letting other people push your buttons. You're letting other people decide what wire goes to what wire, what socket, what goes to what wire. And you've abdicated your choice to do that. And I don't, I'm not going to beat you up for it. But when you are ready, when you're tired of being tired, if you're really tired of the same old, and you're ready to say, you know what? I don't get a do-over in this thing called life unless I'm Shirley MacLaine, and I'm not. And I don't want to lose one more year of the same old, right? Get up in the morning, alarm, snooze, alarm, snooze, alarm, snooze. Now I'm late. Running around, getting people dressed in their stuff, in their homework, in their shoes, sit in traffic, get to work, listen to arguments, go to meetings, get interrupted, avoid people that you don't like by ducking in the bathroom, finish work, don't finish everything on your to-do list, move it till tomorrow, get mad at people, sit in the car, traffic. Get home, try to get people fed, sit in front of bad TV, can't move, fall asleep on the couch, not a good night's sleep, forget to floss, the alarm goes off. And we do it again. And no wonder you go, is it Halloween already?
Yes.
That's one more year. And people can live an entire decade in the same old, and it, hashtag BC19. Well, people say all the time now, oh, I can't wait to get back to normal. And I say, whoa.
Right.
You don't remember what normal was like? You don't remember how exhausted and how not in tune with your relationships you were, how not in tune with your own, who are you? And what do you want? I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? Because I want you to ask that question all the time. And the hashtag COVID silver lining, we get to ask that question and go, holy camolies. who's this person I'm living with?
Right.
Yeah. What's wrong with my kid? Or what's right with my kid? Or what's right with my partner? Or what's right about hugging? And what's right about not traveling 2 hours to get to a job that I hate? And what's wrong or right with, the whole sentiment of just tell me what to do. Give me a paycheck. I live for my weekends. Your weekends are 2 out of 7 days. Really? That's what you want to go back to? So, I just came out with my first film, #COVID silver lining. I finally had time. I was actually inspired by Amanda Gorman's speech, and it's called The New PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities. It's free on my YouTube. Free subscribe there. Watch it because it asks you, what do you want to do different?
I love that so much.
What is possible now that we've had a pattern interrupt? You can go back and do dog eat dog and rat race and, forcing kids to pick majors when they're still a minor in life. Or I can say, you know what? Let's look at what kind of alternative education systems there are. Let's look at what kind of alternative work processes there are. That massive amounts of people saying, I'm not going back. Massive amounts. And it's like, yay.
Yeah.
My corporate clients are not happy with me for saying that, but
I know.
But really, truly, truly, what is life? Life is your birthright to happiness. Life is a joyride. When was the last time you tasted what you were eating?
Right.
That's
Absolutely.
the deliciousness of life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's so much good. There's so much good news. There's so much to be happy about. There's so much to be grateful for. One of my tools, I know you're going to ask me, so I'll just jump in. As you can tell, I'm very shy. I have nothing to say.
Right.
I just spoke for the STEAM symposium, and I was the closing keynote speaker. And it was so funny because they said, I said, how much time I have? And they said 45 minutes. And I'm like, oh, and they go, oh, we can do question and answer if you don't want to speak that long. And it's like, no, you don't understand. I'm a motivational speaker. I can go 2 days, 2 hours. All right. With nonstop. And so it was funny. They asked me, okay, well, what time do you want to be notified that you're almost done? And I said, 5 minutes is good, because they were offering like halfway through 10 minutes. And I said, no, I'm like a squirrel. I get really distracted. 5 minutes. I spoke until I didn't even see the 5-minute warning. I spoke all the way up to 43 minutes before I said, how much time do I? So anyways, jumping into what you were saying, that you were asking for some practical tools. So here's the most practical tool I can give you. When you wake up in the morning and you do not reach for your device because it is plugged in another room, and you're just going to have to deal with it because you're going to be doing this instead. So when you wake up in the morning, you sit up in bed without looking at your phone, and you just breathe. You watch your breathing go in and out, in through the nose. Do it with me right now, and out through the mouth. In through the nose.
Love it.
Out through the mouth. Soft shoulder, soft elbow, soft knees. One more time. In through the nose. And releasing all the stories and the drama. So 3 breaths. That's it. Right?
Nice.
It makes you feel good. You can keep going. Set the timer for 2 minutes. Then 8 specific things that you're grateful for. Now, normally, Dr. Wayne Dyer says 5. I'm an overachiever, and 8's a lucky number in Chinese. I think this is a podcast where you can actually see who's talking. So, so as you can see, I'm not Swedish. I know you thought I was Swedish. I'm Chinese, and 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homonym for good fortune.
Nice.
So that's why I use 8. So you do 8 specific things that you're grateful for. You cannot say friends and family, too general. So this morning I woke up. I'm so grateful. This is my daughter's favorite weather. It's raining. I'm grateful for that delicious taste of coffee first thing in the morning. I'm grateful for the incredible feeling of the sheets. My sheets and comforts is 3. I'm grateful that my new top arrived in the mail. I'm grateful for the fact that I have a client. We're going to have a dinner tonight at my favorite sushi place. As you can tell, I'm all about the deliciousness of life. Number 6, yes. I'm grateful that I knew I was going to splatter more hope and happiness on a podcast today. Number 7, I'm grateful that I actually just got hired to be a spokesperson for my New York news agency that I do beat reporting for. So there's 8 right there. Very quickly. That's what you do first thing in the morning. It's a discipline. You have to do this. You cannot, I don't feel like it. You just, gospel according to Nike, just do it.
Just do it.
Do this for 31, 28, 21 minimum, 31 maximum. You will make your life will be completely different, but not because of the gratitude. Here's what entrepreneurs do not do very well. Mm-hmm. The last thing you do at night, instead of, oh, I didn't do this. Oh, I didn't do that. And how dare they insult me? And when is that project going to come through? And when are we going to get funded for that? Instead of thinking about all those things right before you go to bed, no wonder you can't sleep. So the last thing you do at night is 8 things you specifically appreciate about yourself.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I love that. Yes.
That's the bottom of the bun. And you can start this if you have kids, start them age 4, 5, 6. You can start them in the car. So on the way to school, 3 gratitudes and 3 appreciations. What do you appreciate? Oh, your mom, sister, and yourself. Yourself. So you get that habit. And then before you go to sleep, you think, oh, I did finish this. I did do that. And wasn't I nice about this? And didn't I do this great for this person? And aren't I creative? And aren't I a fun-loving person? Aren't I adventurous? And aren't I energetic? And aren't I sometimes lazy? But most of the time I'm a hard worker. So you begin to make it a habit to approve of yourself. There's another ticket, drop the mic. How the fork do you expect people to approve of you when you cannot approve of yourself?
Yeah.
Hello.
So powerful. Absolutely.
Hello.
Yeah.
So there's an African-American saying I love: when there is no enemy within, no one outside can hurt you.
Oh, that's a good one. I love that.
So you have to do that. That's the muscle. If you can't love yourself 88% of the time, I'm not talking about I'm all hot shiitake. Not that kind of love.
We're not talking about ego, right?
No, we're talking about true and doing this because we can't hug a lot now, but learning how to do this during COVID has made such a difference in self-care. You can hug yourself. That way you're not running around with antenna up going, who approves of me? Who likes me? Who's commenting positive? How many numbers? All of that bullshitaki that does not fill the inside out happiness job that it is.
Right. Oh, I love this so much. And, guys, you can't be truly grateful and miserable at the same time. It just doesn't work. You have to feel one or the other. Like you're either going to feel gratitude or you're going to feel these other emotions. And so I love that you're starting the day with gratitude. What a beautiful practice. But at the end of the day, loving and appreciating yourself, that's a good one. I've not heard of that one. And that I'm going to keep. I'm going to take that one and start doing it right away because it's so funny. The other day I was listening to a podcast interview with a couple of very, very successful, well-known people. And it was a fantastic interview, but they were both talking about how much they don't like themselves. And I've often, obviously in my work with clients, my husband, like people close to me have spoken so often about just like how much they don't like themselves and how hard they are on themselves. And I remember actually saying to my husband, like, is there something wrong with me? Because I actually like who I am. Like, I like my company. I'm happy to be alone. Like, I congratulate myself. I'm not perfect. It's not about ego or anything like that, but I genuinely like the person I am. I've screwed up. I even was saying to my husband, I'm like, geez, I want to be more successful. Should I hate myself more? But I'm like, no, I'm sorry. I can't do that. And that's not a road I'm going to go down.
That's
But
negative
like,
motivation.
exactly. But
Mm-hmm.
it's so rare that we hear people actually say, yeah, I like who I am,
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely. In
shouldn't we
Africa,
love ourselves? Shouldn't we love who we are? I mean, we're
absolutely.
unique. There's nobody else like us. Like,
That's right.
why would we do anything other than
Well,
love and
well,
appreciate ourselves?
because of what I said before, the majority of us did not grow up that way. We
Yeah.
were from get-go told how we are not good enough. And so it's a habit. And Americans have glorified this self flagellation and self sacrifice, working 80 hours a week to, please your superior. Like all of that is built into our system. So it's perfectly natural to, every time I speak to a group of entrepreneurs, I say, how many of you say I am my own worst critic? Nobody is harder on me than I am.
Yeah.
If I get 99 compliments and one insult, my mind goes to the insult. And so I get 100% people raise their hands. And I say, there's only 2 words I have for you. Stop it.
Really, stop it. It serves no useful purpose whatsoever. It really and truly doesn't. But I do believe it is like a discipline. I've had plenty of people tear me down, plenty of really bad trauma in my earlier years, but it goes right back to the choice, right?
Yes.
Always made the choice that yes, this hurts, it's okay, but I'm going to learn how to feel it. Yes, I had damage and limiting beliefs, but I made the choice to heal it. Yeah. And it really does come back down to your choice of how you want to live, because the bottom line is we're all going to die. We're all going to die. You're not living forever. This is it. And every day is precious. You might not wake up tomorrow. And I just look at it as like, why would you want to go day after day in misery when hell, if you want to rely on science proves now happy minds achieve more. You get more success, right?
Science is a bad, science is a bad word lately. So we don't even want to go there. But but I do have an exercise for those of you who can't go into gratitude immediately. It's called the 21-day fast from complaining, because like feeling bad about yourself, complaining is the external dis-ease with life. So you just complain about everything. So if you go to my website, drmarissa.life, and you register, you put $21 down for my nonprofit. And if you manage 21 days without complaining, I will double your money. So it's a very easy, it's a little competitive, but it's, there's a warning label on this fast. If you go on this fast, you may experience more laughter, more joy, more wonder, more great timing, and better sex. I actually have had people say that their relationships absolutely took off in a positive way when they instituted the 21-day fast from complaining.
Oh, I love this so much. And if anything, it's also just that awareness. Sometimes I think we don't even realize we're just in such a habit and a routine of how much complaining we're actually doing. But I love that would bring instant awareness to how often a day my energy, my time, my focus is going towards complaining.
Yep.
I love it. Oh, so good. All right. Share with us one more time. I could sit here and I could talk with you all day. I love these topics. So fantastic. Just really quickly, share really quickly, like where everybody can find you again, your website and your book. That would be so great.
Sure. Absolutely. drmarissa.life houses my nonprofit called 8 Ways to Happiness. And that is for kids, teens, and young adults who have temporarily forgotten their birthright to happiness. So if you shop on Amazon and put in Smile Amazon and put in 8 Ways to Happiness, you'll be helping out my nonprofit by going to my shop and picking up the book, the audio book, 8 Ways to Happiness, from wherever you are, or the signed copy, or the Balanced Tai Chi Gong DVD, or the children's book, Mommy What Are Feelings. You'll also be helping the nonprofit. And the film. The film's free. It's on YouTube. Dr. Marissa, you will get an alert every morning at 8 o'clock when I have my show. It's called Take My Advice. I'm not using it Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And I have great guests from, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of your group. I just had Bob Proctor on, Neil Donald Walsh, Lisa Nichols, Bernie Dorman's been on. So lots of different entrepreneurs. So you can get that on my YouTube. On social media, I'm Doc Balance on Instagram, Dr. Marissa everywhere else. So that's how, to stay in touch. You get a free happy tip sheet if you sign up on drmarissa.life. And thank you for the opportunity to splatter more hope and happiness on your audience.
I love that. I'm sure everybody listening is going to absolutely love getting splattered with some happiness and some hope. Thank you so much for being here today. You guys will also put the link to Dr. Marissa and her book and her website in the show notes. And if you would like, if you would like more information, you can, of course, always visit jenniferdawncoaching.com. Thank you, everybody, so much today for listening. Now get out there and have a happy, productive day.
Peace in, peace out, world peace through.
Thank you.
Peace. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I hope you found today's episode of the Happy Productive Podcast inspiring. Every successful business is formed by a set of small, consistent, and attainable steps. Visit us at jenniferdawncoaching.com to take your next step and learn how to meet your business goals. On the website, you'll find free resources, along with the links to the life-changing coaching programs that have transformed the personal lives of so many of Jennifer's clients. Many of them started their journey by listening to this podcast. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.